Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to show you how you can create a template like this in Google Sheets to track stock prices on a single chart so you can easily compare one against the other. You can change these stock tickers so that they'll dynamically update the chart based on your selections. So this way, instead of going to, let's say, Yahoo Finance or another website, you can easily calculate returns since either the start of the year or since a certain point in time and determine what the returns are since then. So in this example, I'm going to start with using three tickers: Tesla, Microsoft, and Amazon as my starting examples. And I'm going to have the dates going across. So I'm going to enter in the month end dates. So January 31, 2023, February 28th, 2023. And I'm going to select these and drag them across and have Google Sheets fill in the rest. So obviously you could go further if you wanted to. What I'm doing is setting up these dates as placeholders so that way when I set up my formats, it's referencing these dates here. So Google Sheets will know when it should pull the prices from as to which date. Okay, now my starting date, I'll enter here as December 31, 2022. That is my starting date. Now you can obviously adjust this. So if you want a different metric to compare against, you can do that. You can also change these dates if you want to look at different intervals. So, let's say you wanted to look at 10-year returns. This could be your base, your starting point. You could have a different year in each one of these cells, and then calculate the stock history, the stock returns based on that. So for starters, the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I'm pulling in the stock price correctly as of the end of 2022. So I'm going to use the Google Finance function, select my ticker here, and I want to freeze column A because my tickers are always going to be in column A, so I don't want that to move. I want to pull the price attribute, and then for my start date, I'm going to set it to December 31, 2022. I'm going to freeze this because this one should never change because that's going to be my starting point for everything. If I close this, we can see I've got the date. So it's giving me January 3rd. So that's the next closest trading day. So what I may want to do is adjust this to, let's say, December 30th. There we go. So December 30th was actually the last trading day. So if you really want the last closing price of the year, you just want to pay attention to this just to make sure you've got the right date, the right value. Now, obviously, I don't want my stock price to look like this, so I'm going to use the index function to select the second row and the second column, which is going to be this value here, 123.18. So I've got my price for Tesla back as of December 30th, 2022. Now that is going to be my denominator. For the numerator, I'm going to copy this formula, paste it here in front, divide it by my starting value, and subtract 1. And that will be my overall return. Now the main difference here is really I'm just changing B1. I don't want to reference this. I want to reference this value here, January 31st. So I want to say by the end of January compared to the end of December of the previous month, what that return was. In this case, I want to freeze row number 3 because all my dates are going to be in this top row. I don't want that to move. So now it tells me that the return was about 40.62%. And so now what I can do is copy this formula over for the other months. So for February, it's looking at the February's price dividing by December. And so it's always going to be calculating in this case, the year-to-date return. So it's going to compare December 31st, 2023 against December 30th, 2022. So this is telling me that for 2023, Tesla's stock rose by 101.67%. So basically doubling. So now what I can do is copy these formulas down to the other stocks. And if I've frozen my cells, everything's going to calculate properly. So we've got Amazon and Microsoft as well, calculating based on those same dates as well. So now the next step to do is just to put this into a chart now. So select these values, insert chart. And at this point, it's really just a matter of preference, what you want your chart to look like. The one thing you may want to change is right now this is showing on the left-hand side. You may want to have your series show on the right axis, or your percentages, so you can easily see, what their returns were, whether you're comparing from December 31st or a different time frame. You can do that as well. So let's say you wanted to change things up, and instead of Tesla, maybe you want to look at Google. Right, so it'll automatically update, and now we see Google's returns, and in this case, now we see Amazon is the top performing stock. If we do Control Z and go back to Tesla, we see that the chart updates. So it takes about a few seconds, but once the Google Finance function updates, it'll recalculate for you, making it easier for you to track your returns. So you could, of course, change this to a different starting date. Let's say you wanted to know how they did since December 2020. Right, you could see their total cumulative returns since then. So this would be from January 31, 2023. From December 30th, 2020 to January 31, 2023. So Tesla stock actually went down when compared to the end of 2020 to the end of 2023. Tesla stock has only gone up 7%, whereas Microsoft has gone up 67%. Amazon down 8%. So as you can see, you have a bit more flexibility here in how you calculate these returns, and doing these comparisons a lot easier than if you were trying to do it on another site perhaps. And just in Google Sheets, you can just change around the tickers, change the dates. You could also change these intervals if you wanted to know at a certain date and time what the return was to compare them. So it gives you a lot more flexibility in looking at historical returns and comparing different stocks. And of course, you could expand this to have more stocks, more tickers. All you would need to do is just expand this chart to include, more rows. But basically, in Google Sheets, you have a lot of flexibility in doing these calculations. The main thing, once again, is using that Google Finance function, setting your dates. Your starting date is basically your anchor, so that amount or that date should be unchanged. These other dates can change. And in this example, I use every month, but obviously you don't have to do that. And that's just really what you're linking to. The key thing is just freezing your cells properly, so you're always looking at the right stock, the right starting point, and the right current value. So the Google Finance function will do the rest. And then the index function, by selecting the second row and the second column, you're always going to get just that one value. The key thing is not to put an end date, just put in a value for the start date, and you'll just get the stock price for that specific date using the Google Finance function. So that's a wrap for this video. If you liked it, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.